What's up everyone, it's Dusty Go-Go, welcome back to my headcanon. Leakers got a hold of the second DLC for Scarlet and Violet and have revealed details of every single Pokemon that's gonna be in this DLC. In this video, I'm gonna break down every single Pokemon evolution and form, including legends, mythicals, and paradox Pokemon that will be in the Indigo disc. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so let this be your guide. To help me with this breakdown, I've got Zach from the Lumios post. What's up, Lumi? How you doing?
Very good. Feels very weird being on a video with you that is not our podcast.
Let's start with a Pokemon that was officially revealed to us, Diplin. Well, we have reason to believe that this is going to evolve again into another dragon and grass type Pokemon, possibly an apple tree. But it's also really exciting because this is a dragon type Pokemon. If it's going to be 3-stage, it's going to be pretty fearsome. What do we know about this, Zach?
It seems like the snakes will wind around each other, kind of like the staff of Hermes, you know, like you see on hospitals. This is the first time a Pokemon has had two evolutions and got a split evolution that evolves another time. You can evolve it once into Flapple or Appleton, or you can evolve it 2 times, Diplin, and then whatever this will be.
That is true. So what you're describing is like if Hitmontop evolved a second time, that's essentially what we're looking at with Applin. I just want to ask to clarify, is this certainly a third evolution or a third stage to the Applin line, or is there a possibility that this other Applin evolution could be potentially like a 4th cross evolution, right?
I guess there's always a chance that it's that way, but the fact that Diplin has 2 worms inside the apple and it has been teased that this will involve 2 worms kind of wrapping around each other makes me think the logical conclusion will be Diplin. Also, another thing too is like, and everyone's saying this, Diplin is so incomplete, right? Like it just looks like Applin covered in candy.
It does,
you know? So it makes sense for it to go further.
Like you said, Diplin doesn't look that different from Applin, but the fact that it gets this long horn, the fact that it gets so tall, for me, makes me think, okay, I could see that now transforming into like a tree, right? Like that's a sapling, and then the next evolution will be a solid tree where there could be other apples or applins up top.
Maybe it becomes like an apple tree.
And we saw that with, we did see that with the Smoliv line, so I wonder if they would take a similar path. My understanding is that this Applin evolution, this third stage, or other evolution is going to be exclusive to the Indigo disc, which is the second DLC pack. Is that correct?
Yeah, very similar to what they did with Sword and Shield, right? You know, you could evolve your Galarian Slowpoke into Slowbro or Slowking if you waited. I think that's the idea, is they want you to evolve your Applin once into Diplin, which is supposed to really fit the theme of Kitakami, right? Because it's this little festival snack. And then, so that makes me think that its evolution will tie a bit more into the Indigo disc when it evolves, since they're evolving it there.
Next, we've got a mystery Pokemon. We have confirmation that there will be a new standalone Pokemon in the Indigo disc, but we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know its type, pretty much all the good stuff. But we do have information about its origins. What can you tell us about this, Zach?
If you've noticed, it's been shown off in a bunch of trailers. There is a sign in Kitakami that shows the Loyal 3 Pokemon chasing away a Pokemon that they clearly want you to think is Ogerpon. It has been implied that the Pokemon they're chasing on the sign is actually not Ogerpon, but will be whatever this Pokemon is, and that Ogerpon, like, I guess has been framed or maybe, you know, just mistaken for it. I don't know.
So but this will be the actual mischievous Pokemon?
Yeah, this will be like the actual Oni that they were fighting, the actual villain Pokemon, if you will.
And is this like a legendary Pokemon?
I think it'll be a legendary. Ogerpon and the Loyal 3 are all listed as legendaries. So I feel like it would be anticlimactic to tie them all together with a Pokemon that is not a legendary, you know?
Yeah. But this Pokemon has been depicted in official Pokemon media and trailers. Any sort of type? Could be,
no idea. It hasn't been teased at all. I would, if I could add some speculation. Type. Well, I was actually going to say maybe Dark, but maybe Grass Dark. It would be our 4th Grass Dark this gen, which I would hate. But but it could be Dark, because if this is the true Oni, if this is the real thing that was evil and causing havoc, well, then they'd want to go with the evil type.
You know what? This is starting to make me realize that this might be another look-alike Pokemon, similar to Wiglet, Toedsquirrel, maybe, and Poltergeist, right? I mean, that seems to be the theme.
I haven't thought of that, but that's true, and that'd be legendaries that are I really like that.
So another dragon-type Pokemon that has been revealed to us is and this is another Generation 8 Pokemon, is a Duraludon evolution, Archaludon, right? We saw the official trailer. It's Steel and Dragon-type. Is there any other info viewers should know about this Pokemon? I feel like, I mean, this is some wild speculation that you could get on our podcast, but I feel like this is a reference to a possible Unova remake, but that's a leak video for another day.
It has been teased that we are getting a Unova game next year, so it does make sense. And this is used by, to add to your point, this is used by a character that is very clearly related to Drayden of Unova. Yeah. So yeah, it becoming a bridge to me is a glaring Unova reference. Unova's known for its 5 bridges, right? Yeah. But another thing that's interesting about this is Duraludon has a really high base stat total. It's 530. So the fact that they're giving it an evolution is it's interesting. We might have another Scyther on our hands where like Scizor has the same base stat total, but they just kind of reorganize it, right?
I like that a lot, yeah. I've always appreciated that because it doesn't like invalidate Duraludon. This is a Pokemon I'm definitely going to be training in the Blueberry Academy. All right, Zach, let's talk about new Paradox Pokemon, okay? Zach, all the way back during the Scarlet and Violet hype cycle, we had theorized about Paradox Pokemon for the Johto Beasts and the Swords of Justice. It's all but confirmed that we are going to get Paradox Entei and Terrakion. What can we say about these Pokemon?
Not to be controversial, but what we can say is that Paradox Entei will be better looking than Iron Terrakion.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, you know,
I don't know, actually.
I think the different designs, like them turning into dinosaurs rather than just slapping a coat of metal on them.
This is what we know so far. Walking Wake and Raging Bolt are both water dragon type and electric dragon type. They both get the additional dragon type, so we can only imagine that Paradox Entei is going to be fire dragon type, which I think is great. I mean, these are a lot of Paradox Pokemon are based on dinosaurs, as you said, so to just slap on a dragon type, I could not be any happier. I think this is super cool. So let's move over to Terrakion now. Iron Leaves is grass psychic. That was the additional type it got, Psychic. Iron Crown is Steel Psychic. So we can only imagine Terrakion's going to be Rock Psychic. They all lose the fighting type. I'm pretty happy with these Paradox Pokemon overall. I kind of wish we got more, but I like that these are themed and these aren't just a bunch of standalone Pokemon. It kind of makes it feel like a more legendary group of Pokemon. So I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
But we do have 3 more Pokemon to cover. We have Terrapagos, and we also have Baby Pagos. What we don't know is what their types are going to be. We have been told that there is going to be a 19th Pokemon type, and it's probably going to be limited only to terrestrialization. So there's a couple different options for what Terrapagos and its forms, what types they're going to be, right? I think a lot of people want to say, okay, if this thing can access any type, give it a normal type. It's going to be like Arceus, right? That's the first assumption. Then you can get a little bit more creative with it and look at its anatomy and say, maybe it's going to be dragon type because it's legendary. Maybe it's going to be rock type, right? Because it's made of crystals. That's something you could assume. Or it's going to be the only Pokemon that has the 19th Pokemon type as a base type, which is pretty cool. I think we've actually also speculated that maybe it doesn't even have a type.
I think the base form will be like something kind of more mundane. Like I could even see it being normal, as boring as that was. Maybe they do dragon, but I do think the Terrestrial form, since it's called the Terrestrial form, will just automatically have the 19th type.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I feel like you can't do like a fire type Terrestrial form. It would have to be the 19th type, right?
Yeah.
But for the baby, my guess would be dragon, just because if it's the 3rd legendary, that's the terminology we like to use, right? If it is supposed to be the 3rd counterpart to Koraidon and Miraidon, then it has to be dragon, I would feel like, to coexist with them.
Dragon is either reptilian, it's the reptilian type, or it is the like legendary type because it's so it's so
and
powerful.
It is a legendary reptile. So
that's true. Yeah, that is true. Turtles are reptiles.
They are.
So Zach, this is the big thing, right? The Riddler. He threw out a math equation: 7 + 8 + 1, 6 + 1 + x. Right.
Yes.
That's what we're working with. Do you want to explain that? Because what we have here is a new mythical Pokemon.
The 7 is the 7 new Pokemon, the Teal Mask. The 8, the one's an Indigo Disc, which we covered. And then the +1 implies that there is something else that is not in the Teal Mask or the Indigo Disc, but is coming. So I would imagine it would be a mythical that, you know, maybe even is in the data of the DLC, but will not be dropped. Like, it will not be a part of Kitakami or a part of Blueberry Academy. It'll be something that we get later, potentially on Pokemon Day.
We haven't been given a mythical Pokemon yet for Generation 9, so 1, we can expect it. 2, we've got a little bit of confirmation. But I'd love to hear what you guys think the mythical could be in the comments below. Zach, I appreciate you coming on. Definitely go check out his channel, and links are in the description. Great, you're still listening. If you like this style of content, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you go into the description, there's a link to my weekly Pokemon podcast. Again, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Arceus bless.